Hadi, bonjour. My name is Robyn Eskibok. I go by Kiki. I come from Miigwemkong, Kitaganzi B, Bawating, and I recently found out Mishpakotan territories. Bear Clan with ties to the Crane Clan, and I was born and raised right here in the West End.
Okay. Born in the West End?
I was born in the West End, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. I am a mother of 3. I served in the United States military, in the Marine Corps. On November 11th, I opened up a sacred fire. The week before, I had talked to my Sama, and I was, kind of seeking guidance with that and creation, moving forward with how to move forward with asking the city of Sault Ste. Marie, that corporation, to stop illegally collecting land tax on Anishinabe homeowners in the Bawating, as this is known as treaty territory to us. In the treaty, I lived within the 10-kilometer boundary. I didn't have a problem paying my mortgage. When the 2 payments, they had started together, the mortgage payment and the tax payment. And that's after I purchased my home with Ontario Burgeon Housing. After 5 years, I became the sole owner to that property. So then the 2 payments became separate, and I chose, I had asked Chief Dean Sayers at the time, is this right to even be paying in the first place? I was paying my mortgage, no problem. And he said, no, that's not our tax to be paying. So I said, okay, can you print me off a copy of the treaty? And he did, and he agreed with me at that time that that's not ours to pay. So I stopped paying it. I approached the city about it a few times, and they hadn't acknowledged it at the time. I went to Terry Sheehan's office, and the lady in there had told me that this is not her jurisdiction, and she basically told me to leave the office. I still refused to pay it, and then it started to accumulate. Upon renewal, the mortgage company had somehow found out that I was not paying my city taxes. I look at it as a breach of confidentiality. And so I was served some eviction notice papers. I was aware that at some point they were going to be coming for my house. And when they did, it was during the pandemic, and my son was home sick. When the sheriff knocked on my door, I acknowledged why she was there, and I asked her to come back another day. She had showed up with 3 city police officers, and in my home, and I repeated myself, I know why you're here. Can you please come back tomorrow? Right now my son is sick. It's the pandemic. Please come back tomorrow. So they backed up. They left the carport area and outside of the house, and right away I went to lock the doors. And I told my friends on Snapchat real quick. My phone hadn't charged all night, but like I had thought it was, so I didn't have very much. My battery wasn't charged, and I didn't have much time to send out a message. I sent out a message on Snap, and my phone died. My son was in the tub, and I got him out of the tub, and the police hadn't left the property. They were banging on the windows. They were trying to they broke in, and there was a female sheriff and 3 city police officers who made a line in my living room between my son and I couldn't see my son, and my phone was dead. I had to make some quick decisions, and I went in between the female and the male officer, and I went and sat with my son, who was quite upset at this time, and I just held on to him, and I said, nothing's going to come in between us today. They're not separating us. And I held on to him, and I squeezed him. And I just held on to him and I said, remember, Mommy, you know, I just told you about the residential school kids and the Indian agents coming into our homes and stealing our children and breaking up our families. And I said, look, that's them today. But they're not going to do that to us today. And so no sooner I had said that, we saw our family coming up the driveway. And he took a big breath and he was okay. The police left our living room, our family came in, and you know, we left the property that day. That was September 20th, a few years ago. I'm still dealing with the timeline. I believe it to be 4 years ago. So I went back 10 days later to City Hall and I asked the mayor and I questioned the mayor and he said he was going to work on it. In the meantime, again, I spoke to my Sema and I asked, you know, and I could feel my home calling me back. And I asked, I went to one of our leaders, our elders, Mishomis, and I passed him Sema and I just had a conversation with him. And he says, what do you want to do? And I said, I want to go back there, and I didn't leave my home properly in this good way. So we went back and we occupied my home for nearly 8 months. And it was a day or two past the last eviction notice to leave the property when a moving company had showed up and they started moving my stuff. The police managed to drag me. I wasn't resisting. I was, in the way we speak, being resilient, and I wasn't combating the police officers, but they dragged me to the property next door, had me arrested for trespassing on my own property. I went to the police station. I actually went through, I'll keep that to myself right now, what I went through in there, and I gathered some strength, and I made peace in that moment to want to go pick up my children at 2:30 at school. So I was able to leave the station that day. I've been without my home and my children for a few years now. And recently the firekeeper who was up at my home, Dan Ba, who's no longer with us, who was there for us for 8 months working with the city, Malcolm White and Christian Provenzano, Chief Dean Sayers, Elder Del Riley, I know local Igichita warriors all spoke at that fire up at 416 Old Garden River Road. And everybody had, I thought, come to an agreement about that this needed to be addressed. Nothing has been done since, and now that we have new leadership who I actually believe in and have real connections with this leadership, and I'm very hopeful with this meeting on Monday that we're going to have with Ogama Chief Del Riley. In this good way, I do believe we're going to be moving forward with hopefully a letter of support or acknowledgement in this good way. I had asked for a 4-day fire, but because he came out early and acknowledged what's going on, and we gifted him and traded some teachings on the wampum, the treaty, and several other, I guess, written documents that support what I'm saying to be true. And I'm looking forward to, you know, lobbying this and going to the House of Commons with this in the near future. Miigwech.